Okay, now is it working? Okay, now I think it's working. Cool. Thank you, Eagle Bro. All right, so yeah, I made a few canvases here. If you guys want to do your own canvas, or you can join me on this canvas. It's up to you. But I was talking to myself for a few minutes before I realized it wasn't working. But I was we're gonna do a shark warrior riding a seahorse, and I was watching the movie Aquaman, and I was just like really inspired by that, and I thought that's kind of cool. It was a fun movie, low stakes kind of movie. You know, everything works out in the end. All right. That sounds good. Go with that. D&D. Can't go wrong with that. All right. So seahorse. And this part's always fun when you're trying to figure out the design. How was everybody's week so far? You know what? I said shark. I didn't say what kind of shark. It's like this. This thing. Beauty size. Did anybody hear about the Disney Unity thing? Oh, so Zachary, if you Google, Disney is invested $1.5 billion into Fortnite, and they want to make their own theme park on Fortnite. And so that'll be, I don't know when that's going to be released, but they announced that a few days ago, and some people were like, "Oh, this is really great," but then some people were thinking, well, they had all these layoffs all across the gaming industry, and they're making this move to make this big investment, and so there's been kind of mixed reviews on that. But I thought that was interesting. Like that's quite a big investment in a video game space from Disney. $1.5 billion. I don't know what you all think about that. Okay, so let me try this. This is the hard part. Yeah. That's pretty cool. I was thinking one of these days I'd love to get some photos together, some reference models, and just do some gesture drawings with you all. That would be really fun. I haven't done that in a while. Gesture drawings are a really good way to just loosen up. Let go of expectations and just draw. Okay, somebody just kindly let me know that I wasn't on screen share. So What's going on? Cool, I think this is good enough. Let's just throw some color down there. Lock these two. Here's the part that's tricky. Color always messes me up a little bit. Some gold. Yeah, this is what I'm thinking of. Yeah, that's pretty cool. See what that looks like. Trying to lay down some color. So we can figure out color notes. I'm trying to figure out what's this going to look like. This is dark. You know what, that would look good. Goodness. When all else fails, I always start with my darks. That way I can ground things. That. So dang. All right, cool. My pen stopped working. That's fine. I have to use the mouse. I think. Let's just go straight. What I want to do is build some translucency in the painting. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. So I think that would be really nice. Kind of like the glow. I think maybe if I add a layer, kind of like this. Maybe not there. Just maybe just the top. Oh my gosh. Thank you for letting me know what's going on here. All right, thank you, Zachary. Whoa, you guys are doing great. So I'm trying to still build some translucency in the painting. I think what I could do is yes, those are quite Mm. Okay. And my pen is not working, so when all else fails, you can use the lasso tool here, and you can just carve out the shapes. You just have to go back in and work your edges. So everything is going to get really, it's going to come out really, it's going to have hard edges all the way around. So you got to go back and just finesse that, you know, work your edges a bit. So I'm trying to lay down that color so I can go back and erase. It's a little better. And these seahorses look really cool though. I'm gonna try this now. Let's see. That's kind of cool. It's a little better. I think it needs to be darker. And more gold. It's too brown. It was like that nice, that balance of just enough color, not too much color, not too much, and the right value. Value is much easier because it's literally just 10 scales. 10 scales that you follow, but if you go too far off on color, that's why it gets so tricky. I think that's a little bit better. Not really. Balsam vinegar. Not really, but I was trained to when I was in school. And then I just never really got a use for it, for the lasso tool. But now I'm in a situation where I don't have a choice but to use it because it really helps you control your edges, controls your shapes. But I remember, if you guys ever watched the what was that Jackie Chan TV show? I don't know if anybody remembers that. There's a TV show like the 2000s or with Jackie Chan, and he's like supposed to find some mystical zodiac things, some like tokens. And my painting teacher at Art Center worked on that show. That was his first like big job, and he was a background artist for that show. And that's where he learned how to use the lasso tool. And he stood by it 100%. So he ingrained it in all of us to be able to just like always use the lasso tool. It'll save you time. It gives you clean edges. It makes you think efficiently. Yeah, that's a great show. I love that show. I kind of want to watch it again. But yeah, he was really adamant about the lasso tool, and so I kind of used it a little bit here and there. I keep meaning to show work in the Discord, but I forget to ask like what's the good channel to put stuff in. But I'll have to show some of that work for my class. I did a few master copies from artists using only using the lasso tool. And it was an experience, but it was kind of awkward for me. What about you all? Do you use the lasso tool much? See, I'm not using it here right now because I don't think I really need it. I'm just trying to draw out some texture, and me doing the lasso tool isn't going to do much of a difference for me. So I'm just literally just trying to get some texture down. Okay. I guess it could give me a better shape. Like draw it in. Yeah, see, I don't know. See how that's so hard? Like it's a hard edge compared to everything else that I just did. Like this is a lasso tool, and this is just me using the brush. Yeah, I don't want to use it right now. But eye hand coordination, yeah, that's the way that I do it for the most part. Okay. Yeah, I'm just like looking at this photo of a seahorse, and it looks like glass. It's interesting how the texture on it. So now I'm just trying to figure out how do I do that, because that's really cool. I forget the shark. Now I'm interested in the seahorse. Am I looking at which one? Eagle, bro. For the seahorse? Like, am I looking at a reference image? No. It won't let me see the photo. Let me see. Yeah, I can't see your photo because I'm on a different screen. I'm using Pinterest though. Oh, yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Let's see if I can figure it out. So that this isn't under layer. Okay. I'll have to check it out after this ends. Oh, so now we're getting somewhere. But it needs to be more red. I think more red is better. 72 red. Well, what do we got to lose? There's no rules, right? Oh, that's kind of cool. Hey, what if we went even redder? This pink. Oh, that's kind of cool. See, now we got some color. Look at that. Almost looks purple. It's got a lot of life in it. It's a matter of could be. Cool. Shoot. I'm loving what I'm seeing down there. Some really cool work. This is really. It always feels like I'm cheating a little bit when I do this. Just instantly blocking in. You can really. Lighting isn't even that dramatic. All underwater. Where's the lighting coming from? Good question. Where is the lighting coming from? All right, I'm gonna. Usually I just go for an hour because I like to put my send to bed, but we had a bit of a hiccup today, so I'm going to just go on for another half an hour. Also, I really want to see how far I can get with this thing, because it's kind of... You ever have that feeling when you're working on something, you're like, I gotta finish it. I gotta finish it. I gotta see how far I can take it. That's kind of how I'm feeling right now. I just really want to see how far we can take this. Huh. Yeah, it's kind of it's like an itch you can't scratch. It's constantly there. So the first thing I'll do is just clean all this. This is like nice. So this would be nice to have a lasso tool, because you could just go in and clean all this up. All this is it's a bit of a distraction for me. So I don't know where's end. And I really don't want it to be too cartoony, and and it looks cartoony instantly when you. Yeah, same here. But it looks cartoony when you let it be just two-dimensional. So I really want to see how far we can take it. Because it's the seahorse, I think, is going to be more time than I can give it. More time than I'm able to give it right now. And yeah, I think that the shark is just going to be faster. So let's see. The trick is always color. We always talk about color. Color is the angle. Right, let's see. So because if I lay that down, then everything looks really. Where's the prop tool? Okay, that's fine. I'll figure it out. No, let's just keep it gray then. No wrong with keeping it gray. Transition. Nope. Nope. Maybe. Nope. Nope. Maybe it can be. Okay. There it goes. Finally getting somewhere. That lost edge is really nice right there and soft. Scattered edge. This right here compared to this over here, how clean this is and how like this is more natural, right? More natural shapes. That's what I was going for earlier. Trying to keep things clean, but also visually interesting. This is gonna look cool. Now we're getting somewhere. Only an hour in. Better late than never. So light is coming from this direction. Question is, how do you make convincing looking eye? So, kind of getting there. We're kind of going in the right direction, which I like. Cool. Don't like this. That shape is sticking this way. This way. It will help if I didn't have this on. Yeah, this thing here. For some reason, I'm imagining something green, maybe. Something green part of this person's armor. Kind of like that. So I'm just going to just spin. See. See, hammerhead shark. Ooh, that's scary. Oh, that's fine. Man, come on. Okay. Let's try blue. Yeah, let's see how much needs to Let's go back and open this a little bit more. This. Oh, my Ghibli sweater. You're a Ghibli fan? Ghibli? This is so much more time consuming without a pen. Anyways, there's a mustache. See, now that guy's starting to shape up a little bit. Now our character is starting to come to life. It's funny, all these little things. Gotta keep up the chat. No, he looks a little bit interesting. And I don't know what happened to the gray. Maybe that's what happened. Let me see if I can just clean this up a little bit more. Clean, clean, clean. This is a little bit better, a little bit cleaner. It's funny how a lot of this is about cleanliness. And labeling your layers. I recently finished reading this book by Stephen King. It's called On Writing, and it's all about writing. And Stephen King had an example of an artist, a few writers who were going to go off to be successful. And one of the things that these writers did was to help themselves be successful is when they sent their writing samples to an agent or a publisher, they made it as easy as possible for the agent or publisher to review the writer's work, because they wrote a cover letter that had a synopsis and they had all their information on it, and it was they were just keeping the publisher and the writer, the agent in mind. And it really just boiled down to presentation. Like, obviously they had to be good at what they did. You know, they'd won a few awards and they updated their cover letter reflecting that. But it was interesting to see that even in the field of writing, it's always helpful to keep other people in mind, and as that will increase your chances of success. And it goes back to just presentation. Presentation is a big part of it. That was really interesting. It's a good book. I recommend it. It's called On Writing by Stephen King. So this is just presentation stuff, cleaning things up a little bit. Far, far, far from done, obviously, but I want to leave it looking at least clean. How do you clean up your work? So I see some really nice stuff down here. Really cool ideas. But how do you clean it? How do you present it? Yeah, how do you present your work? What's your process for that? I'd be curious to hear what you all do. So we don't need this because we're not going to show this leg. I'm not going to do any painting on this leg. I just needed that. I needed that there for reference. Deleted that. All right, about 10 more minutes, and I think we're good because, again, let's take a look at these. Yeah, about 10 more minutes. Yeah, this seahorse. I shouldn't have said seahorse. There's so much work on just the seahorse alone. I love the messy lines and erase what I don't want. That's a good idea. If you like messy lines, you might like Mariano Fortuni's work. He's a painter, Italian painter, who is also a fashion designer. I think he's 1800s to 1900s, somewhere in that time period. It's beautiful work. Very messy lines, but controlled at the same time. all this stuff I could clean up. That was cool. Maybe next time I will get some music in here. Do you all have a preference for music? What's your favorite band? What's your type of music you like? Ghibli jazz. That's a cool idea. I like that idea. 80s or dance. Don't know if I could do dance because that would be too much energy. But 80s sounds good. We'll have to look into that. So I feel like some music would be really nice. We're just, just chilling and drawing. Okay. So my idea is to round out that edge. So I'll show you what I mean. Just real quick here. Let's do moving. So if I have a circle, we have a shape, a form, and you have like your typical light, let's do something a little bit more pronounced. Where is my, let's do like a round brush. Okay, I guess I would do. So you get like your highlight and everything, right? You highlight, and then you got your midtones right around here. Oops, do the highlight again. Your highlight, your midtones, and then you got your shadow. Actually, it was a very simplified version because your shadow would not be that dark. Your shadow would be a little bit lighter. Just a quick demo here. So maybe your shadow is a little bit darker here. Right, and then it's only here that you have your occlusion shadow, which is the one spot where there is no light. That part would be the darkest part, and everything else would be lighter. So, anyways, I don't really want to focus on that. So I just want to just what I was trying to do is this one part here is the looks like the form shadow, and this is like a little trick that if you apply it to your drawing, it automatically gives it shape definition. And so a good example would be like right here, you know, because the form isn't quite, it automatically makes it not flat, you know, because it's telling you that there's form that's slowly beginning to turn like in that direction. So there's a little bit of, there's volume to it. So this would actually have to be darker. Yeah, maybe I could just do a whole little demo if anybody's interested in that. But it's this part right here. And this is the form shadow. Because this right here, this is all the no, this is the cast shadow. This is the form shadow, but this is another form of the form shadow that most people don't include. This part right here. This part is not really introduced as much. But if you do that, instantly you get some depth right away. So next time you're working on something, and I think that's why it's so hard for me to try to make stuff up from imagination compared to drawing something from life, is because this is like, okay, how does this look? What's the form shadows? What's the rules of engagement, right? Because my rules have always been like, oh, has to be realistic. This has to be, you know, from life and organized and it has to breathe and has air to it. And so I'm still working on figuring that out with all of you, which is kind of the fun part because you've all been gracious enough to work with me, be patient with me while I do that. But yeah, if you get that little form shadow on the edge, you know, like here I was trying to get it, I got little. Here, got a little bit shadow. It's turning right. Show that there's a form turning, and then here again, form turning, and then it was a little bit form shadow. No, cast shadow. Form shadow is when the object itself turns, and then cast shadow is like this when the object is creating is casting a shadow on the object. So this here is your cast shadow because it's casting on something, and then this here is just regular form turn as a form shadow because it's on the form. And there's this book by Ted Seth Jacobs called Light for the Artist, and he talks all about that. He's a painter that I studied with, and he was very, very technical, very strategic, and almost an engineer with the way that he drew and painted the figure. But he knew his stuff really well. I think let's do it. Like we'll go for a couple more minutes, and then we'll wrap things up, and we'll take a look at everybody's work. Yeah, it's just a few more minutes. So let me just do the best. Let's see what we can accomplish within that time. So I really want to clean this up. And man, this. Little stuff like that. Clean things up. Yeah, like where the light would be. You know, something I could do is this. Okay. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna have to call it quits. It's really hard to do this without my little pen stopped working. So it's just taking so long to do something. Unfortunately, so long to do something so simple. But I'm just gonna look through everybody's work. Well, let me go back and see that. Isn't showing up. Oh, that's really cool. I love that. So that one. Sure. Well, this is really epic stuff here. Got a little sword there too. That's nice. It's a good looking seahorse too. Oh, I love this pedestrian pop. That's great. Whoa, winter. This is really intense. Look at that. That's a shark with an axe. Nicely done, everybody. Thank you all. Thank you all for your patience tonight. We had some technical issues in the beginning, but I've worked it out, and hopefully that won't happen again next time. But we're going to close it out for today. But next time we come back, I'll be bringing some music, 80s music, dance music. I'll think about dance music. I love the Ghibli jazz. It's a great idea. But having some music, and maybe I'll come up with a more. I think my last few prompts have been really intense, really dramatic, like really action based. Maybe I'll just try to do like a still life or something really casual, or I don't know. Maybe you guys could just drop me a message in the Discord and let me know what you want, what you're interested in drawing. It'd be kind of fun to hear from you. All right, thank you all, you guys. You have a good night.